right, back again. Standard 5.3, solving one-step inequalities by multiplying or dividing. Standard 5.3, I can solve one-step inequalities by multiplying or dividing. Division property of inequality. If you divide both sides of an inequality by a positive number, keep the inequality sign the same. If you divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, this is important, you're going to flip your inequality sign. I'm going to show you what this is, but you got to decide early if you're dividing by a positive number or a negative number so you know what to do. All right, we're going to put words to this. Next, example, solve each inequality, graph the solutions. All right, we'll use red this time. So 8x is greater than negative 88. I'm going to divide by the sign of the number in front of x. I'm dividing by a positive 8. Which means, if you go back to that chart, it says, if you're doing a positive number, you don't change anything. So my sign is going to stay the same. X is greater than, negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 11. All right, and then I'm going to graph that. Here's my line. Right. I'm going to put negative 11 in the middle. I'm going to go up one on this side, get negative 10. Down one on this side, get negative 12. I'm going to go back. We'll do purple for our graph. So we have greater than, so it's an open circle. Arrow up to the right. All right, next one. Here, I'm dividing by a negative 5. Step 2 says that my sign flips. So I'm going to write my answers. M here. 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. My sign is going to flip over. Okay? So my sign is no longer going to be greater than. I'm going to make it less than. All right? See what we did? We divided by a negative sign, which flipped our number. So now we have m is less than negative 3. I'm going to graph that. Draw a line with arrows. My negative 3 in the middle. Go up one on this side, down one on this side. All right? Less than means I'm going to have an open circle with an arrow to the left. All right? Next one. Here we're going to have to do two things. All right? We have been flipping our letter to the left at the end, so I'm going to do that still at the end. So let's start. We're going to divide by negative 8. Divide by negative 8. All right? Let's put our letters down here. So T on this side. 32 divided by negative 8 makes negative 4. My sign, I divided by a negative number, so instead of greater than, I want less than. We're going to flip it. Then I'm going to flip everything again. So I'm going to bring T to this side. I'm going to bring negative 4 to this side. And guess what? We're going to flip our sign again. So it's going to go back from less than to greater than. Right? Remember, for this last step, you want to keep it, if it's open to the letter, you're going to keep it open to the letter. Then I'm going to graph it. Negative 4 in the middle. Go up one on this side, negative 3. Go down one on this side, negative 5. We have a greater than, so it's an open circle on 4. Arrow up to the right. Right? That's tough, but I think we got it. Next thing, here's a real world example. Who doesn't love these? An elevator can carry up to 2,500 pounds. On average, each adult weighs 150 pounds. How many average-sized adults can safely ride the elevator at the same time? Let's check this out. All right. Important numbers. We have 2,500 pounds. That's pretty important. Up to. Can it go over this? Can we do 5,000 pounds? No. Can we do 4 pounds? Yeah, you could put a 4-pound piece of food in there and say hit the button and let it ride. That'd be weird, but you can do it. So we know that up to is going to be less than or equal to. All right, so we actually have half for our thing already. So we're going to do less than or equal to 2,500. We don't need to put the comma in there. We know what it means. On average, so this side, each adult weighs 150 pounds. How many average-sized adults can safely ride an elevator at a time? Let's call those, let's say P for people. Okay, so we're going to do so it's how many people, if each people weighs 150 pounds, 150 times P, is less than or equal to 2,500. All right, so to solve, we're going to divide by 150. Now I'm going to have to calculate. So I'm going to type that in my calculator here. 2,500 divided by 150. Oh, that's going to give us, ooh, 16.666666667. Can we have a 0.6666667 person in there? No. We're not going to bank on something like that. Like a child or something. No. So here's what we want to do. If we're talking about real life things like people that you can't cut up, you want to go, in this example, you're going to go down to the nearest number, right? Can't go up. You might end up with 2,540 pounds, and then it might be unsafe. So we're going to go down. So we're going to say P keeps our sign the same, right? Because we divide by a positive number, is less than or equal to 16 adults. And then we can graph it. I'll do 16 in the middle, 17 on this side, 18 on this side, right? And I'm going to have that there, an arrow going. I made my numbers backwards. Ha! Don't do it the way I did. No, that one was right. 17 on this side, 15 on this side, and we want to go this way because we get 15 adults, 14 adults, 12 adults, 7 adults, 1 adult. Doesn't really matter. All right. Next page. Multiplication property of inequality means we can multiply both sides by positive multiplication and keep our sign the same. If we multiply both sides by a negative, we're going to flip our sign just like last time. Same rules. Right? So it's going to look like this. Here's our first one. I have x divided by negative 5 is greater than or equal to 9. I'm going to multiply by negative 5. And that's going to leave me x on this side. It was the negative I multiplied by, so I'm going to flip my sign from greater than equal to less than and equal to. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. And then I'm going to graph. Draw my line, draw my arrows, put negative 45 in the middle, negative 44 on the bigger side, negative 46 on the smaller side. Less than or equal to is my sign, so I'm going to do a big circle filled in, an arrow up, or a line up, and an arrow to the left. Remember, I don't think I've ever explained it. I go away from the line because if you're ever using pencil on ink, it's really hard to read, so I always tell people to do this. It makes it much more easy to read. Next side, I have y divided by 3, or negative 7 is greater than y divided by 3. I'm going to multiply by 3, multiply by 3, all right? Let's multiply out 3. So I multiply by positive, so my sign's going to stay the same for the first step. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Sign stays the same. Leaves y. All right? Then, I don't like y on the right. I want y on the left, so I'm going to move y over here. Move negative 21 over here. And I'm going to flip my sign now. So y is less than negative 21. Remember, your sign is pointing to the letter, so your sign's going to point to the y. All right, and then I'm going to graph it. You know how much I love graphing. Points on the ends, negative 21 in the middle. 1 up is negative 20. 1 down is negative 22. And I'm going to make my sign open at 21 and to the left. All right. Homework. Homework. Here's your worksheet. Look, it's exactly what we just did. Remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip your sign. All right? So we're going to have 1, 2, oops, I just wrote on here. We'll just do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the front. Show me your work. Get your answer, circle your answer. Back page. 2 more of those. Then we're going to have math problems. Tell us for 13, 14, 15, and 16. I want you to read this and tell me if you're doing that, do you flip your sign? So your answers could be yes or no. Yes or no is fine. Totally fine. 17. Take a look at this work. Tell us what the error was. Should be on point with what we talked about today. 18, 19, 20. Here's 3 word problems. Notice, please notice and note, please notice and note, you do not need to graph these 3 questions. Everything else that you do the work for, you should graph. So not really too much down there, but the first 12 problems you should be graphing. All right? Here's your answers. Good luck.